Recording. Thank you. Hi, masters. How are you all doing? Good. Okay, I can see the smiles. Okay, so before going to our topic today, so let us just recap what has happened so far for the newcomers who have joined in so that they will be able to connect to it easily. So the book name which we are discussing as of now is Third Eye. So this book started when with 4-year-old boy who is none other than our Lobsang Rampa. So he had trouble riding his pony. He also had a nanny who was very strict. His name was Zoo. He's very old and he was a little crippled. And then we saw about his schooling, about his home, how it is, and about the physical activities. What did they play in at school? Like we all like the kites, stilt walking, pole jumping, all these kind of things. And then, so when Lobsang Rampa reached 6 years old, so he was about to turn 7. So then there is a big ritual where before the boy turns 7, they will see the future of that particular boy, anyone who it is. So here in this situation, Lobsang Rampa is turning 7. So we are going to, the astrologers, they're going to predict how his future is going to be. So now we have seen that what his future is he's going to become a priest surgeon. So for this, we have probably ended last session. So let me just share my screen so that you can all view my desktop so that we can all read along. Thank you, masters, whoever has switched on your videos. It will be interesting for everyone for all the kids also, so that they can look at each other's. Yeah, thank you for whoever has switched on your videos. Okay, with this, so now, so Lobsang Rampa, we have told that he is going to be a priest surgeon. So priest surgeon is now he has to leave his home and go to Lamassery. It's like where all the monks will be there. What is a monk? A monk is like he's completely devoted to the God. He does not think anything about any physical things. He just thinks he's just only the thought of God. So those are called monks. So Lamassery is like where these monks will be trained. So that is the Lamassery. So according to the prediction of the future of Lobsang Rampa, he is supposed to go to Lamassery. So his father asked Lobsang Rampa to go and do some shopping, which is needed, the things which is needed for him to take with him for Lamassery. So what are the things? Very barely minimal things. A sampa bowl, it's made of wood, a cup and a rosary. It's like 3 things like a sampa bowl, which is made of wood, and a cup to drink some tea. Rosary is like the beads where he can chant. That is rosary, 3 things. And so with that, we have stopped. So let's see now. We set off Zoo on his horse and I on my pony. As we left the courtyard, we turned right, later turning right again. As we left the ring road past the Potala to enter the shopping center, I looked about me as if seeing the town for the first time. So he's telling, I'm feeling that I'm looking at this town, a shopping center, this town for the first time. And I was greatly afraid that I was seeing it for the last time. So poor Rampa, he's feeling sad because he's supposed to go to Lamaseries, then probably he might not have chance to come back for this kind of shopping on all the stuff. The shops were crowded with chauffeuring merchants, means the trading merchants who had just arrived in Lhasa. So what were these merchants bringing? Some were bringing tea from China and others had brought cloth from India. So these are all the things these merchants were carrying along with them. We made our way through the crowd to the shops we wished to visit. Every so often, Zoo would call out a greeting to some old friend of former years. He's telling like, okay, you know what? Zoo is Zoo knows many of them. So when we went for shopping in the town, so he always used to call them and say like, oh no, he always used to see one or the other friend and he used to wave his hand and used to say hi to his friends. Okay, so then I had to get a robe of russet red. So robe means like it kind of one single piece. It's like they would cover it for a body. Okay, it's like where you wear as a night gowns. Okay, so they would wear and they would wrap around them with an with a thread. They will knot around their waist. Okay, I was going to have it rather on a large size, not merely because I was growing, but for an equally practical reason. He's telling, I'm going to buy this robe little larger in size. It's not because I am growing. So it's not like I'll be growing further. So it's not because of that. There is a reason for it. In Tibet, men wear voluminous robes which are tied tightly at the waist. So they will wear the robes, and as I've told, they will tie at their waist with a thread, so that the upper portion is pulled up and forms a pouch which is a repository of all those items which the Tibetan male finds it necessary to carry. So on the top or portion of their robes, they will put all these belongings like this cups, sampa cup and everything. They will put it, they will use it as to carry as a pouch. The average monk, for instance, will carry in this pouch his sampa bowl, cup, a knife, various amulets, a rosary, a bag of roasted barley, and not infrequently a supply of sampa. So these are all the things they will carry in the top portion of their robe. So that is like that robe, it also acts as a pouch to carry all this. So they'll not carry anything extra pouches like that, how we carry for a travel. So, but remember, a monk carries upon his person all his worldly possessions. So a monk, I already told you that dedicated to the god, this person always carry whatever the barely minimal stuff, worldly possessions like this. Worldly possessions means like the things which he wants, he always carries wherever he wants to go. That is the rule. My pathetic little purchases were rigidly supervised by Zoo. He's telling like, even these barely things, it's like, so Zoo was there, he was always supervising me. He was always looking at me. Who permitted only the barest essentials. He's telling like, only like he used to permit to take only the barest essentials, those of merely mediocre quality as befitted a poor acolyte. He's telling like these like very barely things, and he never used to give me little at least to buy something else extra. No, he's very strict. They included sandals with yak leather soles, a small leather bag for roasted barley, a wooden sampa bowl, a wooden cup, not the silver affair I had hoped for. He wanted the sampa bowl to be silver one. He wanted the silver bowl where he can use it to take sampa. But Zoo did not agree for it. He asked Lobsang Rampa to take wooden sampa bowl and a carving knife. So these are all the things which they bought. This together with a very plain rosary. Rosary means that wooden beads. It will be there so that they can keep chanting the names of the god or for the prayers. which I had to polish myself for to be my only possessions. Only these are the things they're carrying. Father was a millionaire several times over, with huge estates all over the country, with jewels, indeed much gold. But his father, see, he's telling like, my father is millionaire. He can buy whatever he want. He has so many things. He has jewels. He has many estates across the country. But while I was training, while father lived, I was to be just a very poor monk. He's telling, though my father has all these things, but me, I have to be very poor monk, having barely essentials. I looked again at the street, at those two-story buildings with the long projecting eaves. The I looked again at the shops with the shark's fins and the saddle covers displayed on the booths outside their doors. He's again looking at all the streets, at the like all the things which are there at the shops. I listened once more to the cheerful banter of the traders. Banter means like it's like the traders will be having their teasing comments like when they're working or something. So those are called, it's called banter, cheerful banter of the traders and their customers haggling good naturedly over the prices to be paid. Means the customers are like bargaining, okay, give me this for this, that, like that bargaining for the prices. So he was looking all them again. He was looking and looking at them. He was enjoying. The street had never looked more attractive. And I thought of the fortunate people who saw it every day and would continue to see it every day. He's telling like, wow, how lucky these kids are. These people are, they can see all the shopping center every day and they can they can do whatever they want. He's feeling sad about himself, that is why. So this is how like they're showing us the picture so that you can see and have a visualization what they are saying. Stray dogs ambled around. Means stray dogs were walking around, sniffing here and there, exchanging growls, barks. Horses neighed softly to each other as they awaited the pleasure of their master. He's telling like even the animals are they are also free. That's what he meant. They are also like they're the dogs, horses. Yaks groaned throatily as they mendered through the pedestrian throng. Mendered means like these yaks, they're also going through the through. Mendered means like wandered, like walking through the they're walking through pedestrian throng. What, like if they're walking, what mysteries lurked behind those paper covered windows? He's telling like he's looking into the shops and the few of the windows are covered with the paper so that like they can't see what is inside. He's telling like what mysteries are there in those shops, what wonderful stores of goods from all parts of the world had passed through those sturdy wooden doors, and what tales those open shutters would tell if they could speak. So he's telling little dramatic. He's saying, okay, what like this shutters means like the doors of those shops. This he's telling like what tales, what stories would these shutters, if they have the mouth or if they have this kind of emotions or feelings, what would they tell the stories? All this I gazed upon as upon an old friend. He's telling like I'm looking at all the streets and all the shops at the other shopping center. Like I'm feeling like I'm looking as my old friend gazed upon. It did not occur to me that I would ever see these streets again, even though, but rarely. He's telling like I might not come back and see these days, but probably rarely I might come. I'm not very sure. I thought of the things I would have liked to have done, of the things I would have liked to buy. He's telling like, okay, I wish I would have come here again, or like what things I would have wanted to buy if I was here. Like he's thinking, he's recollecting, and he's also thinking about future if he does not go to La Misery, like what he could have bought like if he was a normal boy. So my reverie was shatteringly interrupted. So he's telling like it's been interrupted. What? Let's see. A hand immense and and menacing descended upon me. He's telling like a hand came to him, I mean, hand came upon me like it was frightening, caught my ear and twisted it fiercely. He's telling like he caught my ear and twisted it fiercely, while the voice of Zoo bellowed for all the world to hear. Come on, Tuesday Lobsang, are you dead on your feet? I don't know what boys are coming to nowadays. Wasn't like this when I was a lad. He's telling like, what are boys are up to? I don't see what these boys are nowadays. When I was a kid, I was not like you guys. That's what he was saying. Sue did not seem to mind if I stayed behind without my ear or retained it by following him. He's feeling like it's so painful after the twist Zoo made it. So he was feeling like he did not even bother if I'm coming along with him because he was pulling his ear, or I'm following him. There was no choice but to come on. All the way home, rode ahead, mumbling and moaning about the present generation, good for nothing lot, born idle, layabouts, living in a daze. So he's telling like on the road when they're coming back from the shopping center, he's telling like these present generation kids, they're good for nothing. They are always want to be idle, and they always want to be in an want are always on distraction. That's what it means. At least there was one bright spot as we turned into the Lincoln Road. There was a quite bitter wind. Zoo's great bulk ahead of me gave me a sheltered path. He's telling like, so this wind is Lobsang Rampa is enjoying this wind because even it is better than what Zoo was saying. So that's what he is enjoying even this bitter wind, and he's saying like, at least now Zoo is there to protect me from this bitter wind. So it's good. At home, mother had a look at the things which I had bought. He's telling like, when we came home, mother looked at the things which I bought. To my regret, she agreed that they were good enough. So he's telling like, to my regret means he's having some kind of sadness, disappointment. Mom also agreed to all the stuff which I bought. I had been cherishing the hope that she would overrule Zoo and say that I could have better quality articles. He's telling that I am hoping, like I was hoping that at least mom will say loud to Zoo that in a loud voice, okay, what Zoo? Why did you buy this kind of not quality goods? Why can't you buy a little more quality one? But she did not say that. She said like, okay, all right, these goods are, it's perfect. That's what she said. So Lobsang Rampa was very disappointed. So once again, my hopes of having a silver cup were shattered. So he wants a silver cup for his Sampa to for Sampa ball. He wants that as a Sampa ball and a silver cup. He wanted a silver cup, but he did not get a silver cup, right? So I had to make do with the wooden one turned on a hand lathe in the bazaars of Lhasa. But he got a silver cup. He wanted a silver cup, but they have Zoo made him to buy a wooden cup. So he was not at all happy. At least he was thinking, at least I could get a silver cup. My father is so millionaire, is so rich. But why can't at least even have this silver cup? That was his a thought he was pondering around him. I was not to be left alone for my last week. So no one are leaving him alone for his last week. My mother dragged me round to the other big houses in Lhasa so that I could pay my respects. Not that I was feeling respectful. He's telling like, mother wanted me to go to all the others' houses so that like big houses where she wanted Lobsang Rampa to pay respect, means because to say the last wish, what you can say like last greetings, because he would be going to the Lama series, then he can't come and visit all these people, right? So he wanted to get the blessings from them as well. But he's telling like, not that I was feeling, he's not feeling respectful. Mother reveled in the journeyings. Reveled means like mother was having parties in the journeys, in the interchange of social conversations, and in the polite tittle tattle which made up every day round. So he was telling like mother was happy, she was partying, she was having food, and she was having the conversations nicely with them. I was bored. So I was bored stiff. To me, all this was a genuine ordeal. I was definitely not born with the attributes which make one suffer fools gladly. So it's telling like, I am not at all, I'm feeling unpleasant. Like, I find he does not want to leave home. Who would like to leave home, right? And he's telling like, who will suffer, like, you know, who will be happy to have this suffering. So that's what he's saying. I wanted to be out in the open, enjoying myself for the few days remaining. He said, like, at least for this last few days, I wanted to be outside by myself. I wanted to be out flying my kites, jumping with my pole, and practicing archery, instead of which I had to be dragged around like a prize yak. It's saying I'm being shown off to a frumpish old woman who had nothing to do all day but to sit on silk cushions and call for a servant in order to gratify their slightest whim. He's telling like, okay, I at least if I'm out, like I could play all my games, my sports, whichever I wanted to. Other rather they are taking me around every other home, like I am like an yak, means like the like a yak is a breed of which belongs to cow family. They are taking like as if I'm a prize yak, and showing everyone that what lucky they are. That's what like they're showing off me as a prize. Okay. But it was not only mother who caused me so much heartburning. Father had to visit the Drebang Lamasery, and I was taking along to see the place. He's telling like, it's not only my mother who is making me feel sad. Even my father, he was taking me to all the places. Dribang is a Lamasery, is the largest lamasery in the world, with its 10,000 monks, its high temples, little stone houses, terraced buildings, rising tier upon tier. So it's telling like, tier, rising tier upon tier. And so it's telling like, this Dribang Lamasery, it's the world's famous Lamasery, and it's also largest one because they are, so it's like 100 years back, masters. We are talking here, 10,000 monks, there were 10,000 monks, so many buildings, one floor above the other. That's what they mean. This community was like a walled town, and like a good town, it was self-supporting. Dribang means rice heap. Rice heap, all know rice, right? It's like a rice heap means like they will pour the rice. It's like a uh, rice rice heap. I think you would know the rice heap means. And from a distance, it did look like a heap of rice with the towers and domes gleaming in the light. It looks like, because of the structure how they have built, and with the buildings and everything, it looks like a rice heap. Just at this time, I was not in a mood to appreciate architectural beauties. He's telling like, we know Lobsang, but this he has narrated very well about about when they went to the cathedral, what was a beautiful the scenery was, how it was to the east, to the west, everything. So, but now he's telling like, no, I'm sorry, I can't appreciate any of these architectural beauties, means the buildings things. I can't explain anymore. He's telling, I was feeling distinctly glum, means he's feeling distinctly sad at having to waste precious time like this. So he's telling like, at least the last days, yes, it's precious, right? Like anyone who has to leave their home, at least they wanted to do what they wish. But he's telling like, I'm wasting my precious time. He's very gloomy, disappointed, Father was busy with Abbott and his assistants. With Abbott and his assistants means it's like monks and and disciples. And I, like a wave of the storm, it's like an what you call like an lost storm, like or like a stray storm, wandered disconsolately around. He's saying like I'm wandering from here to there like without having any happiness. I'm wandering here and there like a storm. It made me shiver with fright when I saw how some of the small novices were treated. He's saying like I was fearing that when I saw the small novices, means learners or trainees, how they were treated here in this lamasery. The rice heap was really 7 lamaseries in one, 7 distinct orders, 7 separate colleges formed its composition. So it's telling like there were 7 colleges, 7 lamaseries in one, and there are 7 distinct orders also. So all this together formed a structure. It was so large that no one man was in charge. So it's telling like for this big lamasery, like no, there was no one single one as a charging. There were 14 abbots ruled here, and stern disciplinaries they were. There were 14 head monks over there. Abbots means head monks. So they all ruled it in very strictly. Stern disciplinary means strictly they were ruling. Yeah, I mean, with the ruling is, strictly disciplined. They have to follow few rules, isn't it? Otherwise, how would the monks get trained? I was glad when this pleasant jaunt across the sunlit plain to court father came to an end. He's telling like, I'm glad that this meeting, everything came to an end, but more glad to know that I was not going to be consi- cons- consigned to Dribang or to Sarah, 3 miles north of Lhasa. He's telling like, I'm glad that I'm not going to this Lamasery. I'm not going to this one. He was glad. At least the week drew to an end. So the week has come to an end. My kites were taken from me and given away. My bows and beautifully feathered arrows were broken to signify that I was no longer a child. He's just barely 7 years, and his kites, he likes kites a lot. Here that those kites were taken away from him, and his bows and arrows they were broken. He's stating that you are no more a child. Okay, had no use for such things. I felt that my heart too was being broken, but no one seemed to think that important. It's still like Maya, I was emotionally down because like they are taking away all my things and they're breaking it in front of me. I can't bear it. And but no one bothered about how sad I am. Poor Rampa. Is that yes, Miss my dear masters? At night, father sent for me, and I went to his room. So his father called him at night. So he went to his room with its wonderful decorations and the old and valuable books lining the walls. So it's like in his room, all the valuable books and everything were there on the wall. He sat by the side of main altar. Means he sat on the main bench, which was in his room, and bade me kneel before him, and he asked him to kneel before him. This he said like as once Lampa entered the room, he asked him to kneel before him. So why was it? This was to be the ceremony of the opening of the book. So it is called some kind of process where he wanted to open a book. So it's a special book. So it has to be done by that, like he has to kneel down and he has to do that. In this large volume, some 3 feet wide, such a long book, masters, look, 3 feet wide and 12 inches long, were recorded all the details of our families for centuries past. So all his past, about his families who were past, like the families, generations, or his previous generations, about his family, everything was being written in this book. It gave the names of the first of our line and gave details of the deeds. Deeds means like you can say actions or activities or how noble he was, his behavior, which caused them to be raised to the nobility. He's telling like about his line, like from where his family structure started. Everything was there in the book as in a tree. Okay, you know, like how the family structure will be, like from where this boy has come, like they could be able to see the family structure. Recorded here were the services we had done for our country and for our ruler. So they also, this book have this kind of what has done by their former generations, like how uh, they have dedicated their lives to this country and to the ruler. Upon the old yellowed pages, I read history. So on these yellow pages, he read the history. Now for the second time, the book was open for me. First, it had been to record my conception and birth. So first, when his mother got pregnant of him, so that time and about when he was born, so to mark these details, it was open. And the second time, here were the details upon which the astrologers based their forecast. Here were the actual charts prepared at that time. Now I had to sign the book myself. For tomorrow, a new life for me would start when I entered the Lamasery. So tomorrow is going to this Lamasery master. So he is going to leave his home. The heavy carved wooden covers were slowly replaced. The golden clasps pressing the thick handmade sheets of juniper paper were clipped on. So he's discussing about the book, how it is. The book was heavy. Even father staggered. Uh, Means he was even his father was taken back because of its little weight, beneath its weight, as he rose to replace it in the golden casket, which was its protection. Reverently, means affectionately, he turned to lower the casket into the deep stone recess beneath the altar. Over a small silver brazier, he heated wax, so and poured it upon the stone lid of the recess. Here, the recess means it's like a kind of seal, you could say over here. It consists of little hollow thing, so that he's pouring this wax onto it, so that to make it as a seal. Okay, look here. He heated wax, poured it upon the stone lid of the recess, and impressed his seal so that the book would not be disturbed. He turned to me and settled himself comfortably on his cushions. So then his father turned to Lobsang Rampa, and let's see, a touch of gong at his elbow. So he was like, he just rang a bell and a servant brought him a butter tea. So here, okay, there was a long silence. Then he told me of the secret history of Tibet. So he's telling now the secret history, how it was in the Tibet long back. The history going back, now the history is going back. This history is thousands and thousands of years. A story which was old before the flood. There was a flood, it seems, in Tibet, thousands or thousands of years back. He told me of the time when Tibet had been washed by an ancient sea. So it was like the Tibet was nowhere at all. It was completely washed away by the sea. And of how excavations had proved it. You know, excavations, right? Like these archaeologists, they will be digging it, and they would take out some kind of fossils and or things or artifacts to see how old is this belongs to. And this is called excavation. This is a process. Excavations have proved it. Even now, he said, anyone digging near Lhasa could bring to light fossilized sea animals and strange shells. There were artifacts too of strange metal and unknown purpose. They used to also see different metals which they do not know what the purpose is. Often monks who visited certain caves in the district would discover them and bring them to father. He showed me some. His father is now showing all these things, and because he's telling that because it's now time to know about for Lobsang Rampa to know about the Tibet. That's why his father is telling about everything. Then his mood changed. Then his father's mood changed. Because of the law, to the highborn shall be shown austerity. He's telling like, because like if highborn means who was born for a royal family, highly wealthy, so shall be shown how austerity means it's like yeah, showing some kind of hardship, while to the low shall be shown compassion. So the highborn people will have this kind of will be treated hardly, while the low people, I mean low means like who are not um, who don't basically in the society in terms of money. So if they are very low, then those kids will be shown the compassion. You will undergo a severe ordeal before you are permitted to enter the lamasery. His father is warning him. Okay, you see, if you want to enter into this lamasery, it's not very easy works. Okay, it's very hard. It might not be it might be unpleasant, not happy. It's not easy for you, so be careful. He enjoined upon me the utter necessity of implicit obedience. Implicit means like he's telling like he's suggesting the like you need to have an obedience, you need to obey to all the commands which would be given to him. He's telling like you have to obey what are the commands is given to you in the lamasery, at lamasery. His concluding remarks were not conducive to a good night. So he's telling, with these comments, what my father said, like I was not, I'm very sure that I would not get a good night's sleep. He said, my son, you think I am hard and uncaring. You might think that I am very hard on you and I'm uncaring. You might think that I'm not at all caring you, but I care only for the name of the family. He's telling like, I only care for the name of the family. I say to you, if you fail in this test for the entry, do not return here. If you're going to fail in the test for entry where? To the Lama series. If you're going to fail, then you please mind it that you are not supposed to return here. You'll be as a stranger to this household. So see how his father is saying, like he's saying like, if you don't get an admission there, then please don't come back. You will be treated as a stranger only. With that, with no further word, he motioned me to leave him. Motion means he said like, okay, you can go now. That's what motion means. He's waving to leave him in gestures. Earlier in the evening, I had said my farewells to my sister Esho. So his sister, like 2 years elder than him, elder to him. She had been upset for we had played together so often, and she was now but 9 years of age. So now because Lobsang Rampa is about to turn 7, by tomorrow he'll be turning 7, so his sister is 9 while I would be 7 tomorrow. Okay. Mother was not to be found. So he is not able to find his mother. She had gone to bed and I was not able to say goodbye to her. He's still feeling sad. I'm unable to even say goodbye to my mother. So it's very sad. I made my lonely way to my own room for the last time and arranged the cushions which formed my bed. And she's telling like, okay, today is my last day here at my home. So he went and he arranged we all know that cushions he used for sitting, as well as they would put more cushions and it will form as a bed as well. I lay down, but not to sleep. For a very long time, I lay there thinking of the things my father had told me that night. Just thinking about the father, what he has told me. What he has told, don't return. Like you have to get admission over there. It is not easy to get admission in the Lamasery. Be minded about it. That's what he's telling. He's thinking about those thoughts, what his father was told him. Thinking of the strong dislike father had for children. He's telling like, my father does not like me. That's what he's thinking. And thinking of the dreaded morrow. Morrow means tomorrow. Frightful. He's frightened. Anyone would be frightened, right, masters? Like the 7 years old kid, he wants to leave home and go to the Lamasir. And his father is telling, if you don't get admission there, then don't come back to home. That's what he meant. And thinking of the dreaded morrow, when for the first time I would sleep away from home. So the first time tomorrow he's going to sleep away from home. Okay, so gradually the moon moved across the sky. Outside, a night bird fluttered on the windowsill. He's describing everything, the moon, about the moon, how it is, and the bird which came onto the near to the window. From the roof above came the flap of prayer flags, slapping against the bare wooden poles. He's like telling the flags are all wavering because of the wind. I fell asleep. But as the first feeble rays means kind of the first sunshine, it's very weak. I mean, like the first sunrise, it will not be very harsh. It will be very gentle, mild. It's like, but as the first feeble rays of the sun replaced the light of the moon, I was awakened by a servant. He's telling like, as soon as the moon went and it was replaced with the first sunlight, servant came and waked him up and given a bowl of sampa and a cup of butter tea. And he was fed with a bowl of sampa and tea. As I was eating this meager fare, Zoo bustled into the room. Means Zoo, he rushed into the room. Well, boy, he said, our ways part. He's telling like, thank goodness for that. Now I can go back to my horses. He's telling like, okay, this is how Zoo said bye to it. Like it's a farewell from from Zoo. Yeah, finally, our ways are apart. Thank goodness for that. That's what he said. But acquit yourself well, he's saying. But remember to adjust very well. Remember all that I have taught you. With that, he turned upon his heel and left the room. So by saying that, he went away from the room. Although I did not appreciate at the time, this was the kindest method. Emotional farewells would have made it very much more difficult for me to leave home. He's telling, at least not having these kind of emotional things, it made me at least easier. If there were so many emotions, like for us, if we want to go somewhere like this, crying or feeling sad, like that's kind of like, it would have been more tough for me. Thank goodness those kind of emotions are not there, he's telling. For the first time forever, as I thought, if mother had been up to see me off, then no doubt I should have tried to persuaded her to allow me to remain at home. He's thinking like, at least I could have seen my mother, then I would have asked her, somehow I would have convinced her to make me to stay back at home. Many Tibetan children have quite soft lives. Mine was hard by any stand. He's telling like, normally many Tibetan children have very good life, but somehow my life is only hard, he's saying that. And the lack of farewells, as I later found, was on father's order, so that I should learn discipline and firmness early in life. So all this kind of these farewells, which does not have any emotions, this was done based upon his father's order, it seems. Later on, he has come to know that about that, it seems. Let's see later on how it goes. Okay. I finished my breakfast, tucked my sampa bowl and cup into the front of my robe. So now he's carrying his worldly belongings. What are these? Bowl and a cup in front of my robe, and rolled a spare robe, a pair of felt boots into a bundle. As I crossed the room, a servant bade me go softly and not waken the sleeping household. So when he was crossing, he was going across the room, he's telling the servant saying, shh, go slowly, don't waken the others, okay? Down the corridor I went. The false dawn had been replaced by the darkness that comes before the true dawn as I made my way down the steps on the road. So as soon as the darkness was overcome by this true dawn, so he's on the road. So I left my home, lonely, frightened, and sick at heart. So with this, he left the home. Okay. This 7, about to turn 7 by tomorrow. So I mean, so he has left the home. So, okay, I think it's time to stop the session for today, and we can discuss whatever your feedback or the questions you have. Let me stop the share. Okay, Masters. Yes, Gautam, you can unmute. You have unmute.
So for some reason, I thought I couldn't tell if they Lobsang, that a 7-year-old boy now, if he's adult or still 7-year-old, I can't tell.
No, he's about to turn 7 tomorrow. His birthday is tomorrow. I mean, in that book, he's about to turn 7. He's still a young boy, 7 years old boy. He's up. He's not even 7 now. His birthday is going to come tomorrow. So before 7 years, he is leaving his home. He's still a young boy, young boy, young child. You remember like how your year 1 or your year 2 students will be there? That's the age. Yeah, understood?
Okay.
So how is it like? Are you feeling bad for Rampa, Lobsang Rampa? What do you think? Tell me in your words. Yeah, unmute yourself, Gautam. You don't want, you can't? Yeah, go ahead.
I can. Yeah, I'm feeling very bad for him.
Yes, even I am. So yes, even I am. Thanks, Gautam. So let's see. Okay, next is Mukul. You can unmute yourself.
Can you unmute yourself, Mukund?
Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
I forgot what job his dad does.
His dad, he will take care of all this political affairs, so that like when Dalai Lama is not there, like when there is invasion, so he has a major influence in this politics and to take care about the country, about all these things.
And I do feel bad for Lobsang Rampa because he's younger than me and he's leaving home, and I can't stay a day without leaving home.
You're feeling bad? Yes. Yeah, so it's like he's not even 7 years, so he has to leave the home, and we'll see. Like we can't assume, right? Like if you want to leave our home permanently, it's not like he's going for a vacation or a summer trip. He can't come back to home. His father has told us strictly. So let's thank you, Mukund. And now let's go. Yeah. Yes.
If he doesn't get the like place in the
Lamasery.
yeah, he can't go anywhere. He has to go somewhere like a hostel or something or an orphanage.
He does not have any option. There is no choice at all. He has to get an admission. That's what his father said. Yeah, there is no choice for him. Yeah. Thank you, Mukun. Now let's go to Heathal. Yes, Heathal. Yeah, you're unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Can you come little closer? Your voice is low.
Now?
Much better. Yeah.
Okay. Ma'am, I feel very bad when Rampa is going below me. He's very young, but he's going very fast.
Yes. Lamasery, right? Like Are you feeling bad for Rampa?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, feeling very bad, right? Like even he was not his father, he did not get a chance to say bye to his mother. Everyone likes their mother, isn't it? He wanted to see his mother at least the last time and to say bye, but he could not do that, and he's feeling bad even about that as well. Yeah. So is it interesting,
Yes,
Ketan?
ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, let's go move on to Aradhan. It's okay, Aradhan. Tell me how did you feel? How did you feel like
Huh?
about Rampa today? He's now he has to leave his home and go to Lamasari. He does not have a choice to stay at home. He has to get admitted to this Lamasari. Otherwise, his father said, you will be a stranger to this house. You can't come back. That's what his father is saying. My family name is very precious. I want my family name in this book. So it is the main thing for me. That's what he's saying. So how do you feel that? How do you feel about
Yes.
Rampa?
But he's not even 7 years. How could he leave his house?
See, that is what even I am wondering about it. How could they do for even not even 7 years old boy? How could they do? Even I am feeling very bad. Even I am wondering like that. How could, like, we all know like how old are you guys? So it's like 1 or 2 years younger than you guys, or like similar of your age. How could their parents send him, right? So that's what even I am wondering. How
Yes.
could they do that? Yeah, same question with me as well. Okay, thanks, Aradhan. Okay, well, yeah,
You
let's.
said that to see, you said to download some app for seeing this book.
You had not the app. Are you in the CCC book club?
Yes.
Yes,
And
they have Gangadhar sir will be updating about this playlist, about the timings, and about the book. I'll ask Gangadhar sir to again repost it, the PDF version. You can download it and you can also read it. Okay, and you can also view these videos
Okay.
online also in the YouTube as well if you want to go through it again. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Aradhan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Yes, Joshia, yes, unmute yourself.
Madam,
Yes, Joshia.
I think I would feel very bad for him because, like, he's
Yeah.
only 7 years old. When I was 7, I was even afraid to leave the room, my own room at night. So why would I would even leave the house?
See, that is what even I am wondering. How could like even 7 years old, if they're 7 years old, like even I was thinking like how could they? Because kids are not even kids, like even adults. If you want to leave home, we are also afraid. Okay, now it's own not even adult. He's just a 7-year-old boy. Yeah, same feeling with me as well. See, all your friends also having the same feeling. How could they do? But it is 1,000 years back, so it's like 100 years back. So it's like we are okay. We are not in that century, right? We are lucky having this wonderful, loving parents for us, aren't we? Yes, yes. Any other feedback, Joshua? Any other question?
No.
No, you're good.
But it
Oh,
was madam, you're saying it very good.
is it? Oh, thank you, Joshua. Thank you. Gautam, did you have any? Do you have any question? Do you want to talk? Does your sister want to talk? No? All good. Thank you, Gautam, bringing your sister along with you. You said you will do it and you have done it. Good job. Good job on you. I see Ambika. Ambika, do you want to let me unmute you? Share me, how do you feel today's session?
Yeah, it was very nice, ma'am. It was great, and this is my first time joining here.
Uh-huh. Good to
Yeah, it
know.
was nice, ma'am.
It was nice. Were you
Yeah.
able to connect to it?
Yeah, it was very interesting. I felt like the time was done so fast.
Oh, yes, yes. How did you feel about Rampa leaving his
Yeah,
home?
I felt like there is something to do. That's why the reason is that he have to leave. I did not feel anything more.
Is it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good way of thinking. Yes. And how about yours? Is it your sister next to you?
Yes, yes.
How
She's
how
my
did
sister.
how did you feel?
Nice, ma'am.
Nice. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, let's stop here.
1 second, I have a Gautam's hand. Gautam, do you want to talk or?
Hello?
Yeah, Gautam.
Yes, I would. So, how?
Hello?
Why would some? Because as friends has already told the person that all the people. So how could his father tell that? Because he know it's almost certain that these astrologers will be right.
Hmm.
So
Sorry.
why would he be saying that? If then why would he be saying don't come back home if you don't succeed?
Yes, because Rampar, he does not because being a kid. So suppose if someone has told you to do something which is very tough, so if you don't do, like, you will say like, I tried it, but I did not, I was not able to do it, so I came back again for your help. We would say that, right? Like, if we have some kind of very hard thing which we can't take it, so that's why his father is telling it's going to be very hard. Remember that, because kids or anyone for the human beings, their nature is like that. If we come across some kind of hard thing, we will not take it. We will not be ready to take it. We will see like, okay, is there a way I can convince my parents again and go back to the home? Like, we'll have that kind of small feeling, at least, like, they might ask me, they would willingly take me home again, like, if I can't get into this. So his father is giving him no choice at all. So then he can give his 100% to what he is doing. That's what his father meant to. But Rampa, he can't understand because he's a very old boy, a very young boy, right? So it's a very young boy. He can't understand what adults thinks, what his parents are thinking about him. Why is his father is saying like that? He can't understand. But the only thing, like, even if we are a 7-year-old boy, we don't understand. We don't think like, why father is asking me to do the homework? Why, if I can play, right? Like, why is he asking me? Why? What will I happen if I don't do homework? We'll have all these questions, but father will have some kind of a reason. Why is he asking us to do the homework? There'll be some reason, because it will improve for us. So that is how the comparison is like that. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we will see tomorrow. So come again, all of you, tomorrow at the same time, so that we will see what is going to happen at the lamasery. Is he going to admit it or not? We will see. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye,
Yes.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye bye.